It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. You don't need a throne to feel that truth. You live it under fluorescent lights, in open offices where the clock watches you back. You arrive early, answer fast, smile on cue. You do what they expect precisely, and still the promotion slides to someone louder, later, rougher. You send the perfect text at the perfect time, and the reply is a shrug, a delay, a breadcrumb. You post the safe take, the agreeable opinion, and the crowd scrolls past as if you're furniture. You did everything right, and power ignored you because you were easy to read. Look closely at the cage you built. In the job, you become the dependable pair of hands, the person they call at 10 p.m. because you always say yes. Reliability without edge hardened into an invisible uniform. Available. In the relationship, you pre-rehearsed your lines, softened your opinions, and earned the reward of being taken for granted. Even online, the algorithm mapped you. Same hours, same tone, same topics. You were filed under safe. The punishment for acting as expected was not a slap. It was invisibility. Predictable kindness turned into a hallway. People walked through without noticing the walls. Power hides in surprise. Predictability lowers your price. Uncertainty raises it. Think of a chessboard. The move your opponent anticipates may be correct, but the feint that shifts their eyes is what wins the clock. Or a boxing ring. The jab works because the hook may arrive. The hook is deadly because sometimes it doesn't. Your leverage lives in the space between what they expect and what you might do. If every answer is immediate, your time is cheap. If every opinion is public, your mind is free real estate. If your schedule is perfectly known, anyone can rent you by the hour. A little fog at the edge of your actions forces others to slow down and pay attention. Understand this. People don't just manage you, they model you. They build a puppet from your patterns. You taught them you're always available. They believed you. You taught them you'll apologize first. They waited for it. You taught them your price by never asking for one. To break the model, you don't throw a tantrum. You introduce doubt. A pause where there was always an instant reply. A calm no where there was always an explanation. A boundary stated once, then kept. Small surprises, consistently delivered, fracture the puppet and return the strings to your hand. Do not confuse this with malice. The lesson is not to be colder, it is to be less legible. Mercy loses force when it is expected. It regains power when it is chosen. Strategic mercy is not people-pleasing. It is selective generosity, given on your terms, not traded for approval. You can be kind without being coded. You can be warm without being written. A sovereign does not broadcast every move. A sovereign sets the tempo. You do not have to roar. You have to stop, narrating your feelings to people who use them as tools. Here is the promise. Disciplined ambiguity will return your breath. You will speak less and be heard more. You will offer fewer explanations and receive more care. You will miss a few invitations and keep your dignity. The crowd may complain. Crowds always do when their predictions fail. Let them. What matters is that you step out of the costume you stitched from other people's comfort. What matters is that you are no longer a schedule on legs. Start with one change today. One pause, one boundary, one unpredictable kindness you were not asked to give. Then watch how the room recalculates. Never give them what they expect. Give them what you intend. Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, because it belongs to everybody to see you, too few to touch you. You learned this the hard way. You showed up, polished, pleasant, adaptable. You made yourself easy to manage. You believed that fitting the outline, it would buy you shelter. But the shelter kept shrinking. The more you cooperated, the more the weather moved inside your house. Promotions passed over you like clouds that never rained. People you gave chances to return only conditions. You mistook pleasantness for protection, and what you received was dependence without respect, the leash disguised as a ribbon. The bargain of the pleaser is a contract you never signed, drafted in small favors and silent sacrifices. It begins the first time you say, "No problem," when there is a problem. You stay late once because you're a team player. Now, lateness is assumed. You forgive a missed call without mention. Now your time is free. You listen without limits. Now you are the confession booth for everyone's chaos. The terms creep. Your unspoken rate drops. Your stock is repriced in front of you, and you nod along because you fear the cost of correcting the price. There is also the resentment that grows under your own smile. You feel it when you rehearse agreeable words that do not match your thought. You feel it when you censor an honest question because you fear a frown. Resentment is the interest on a debt you took to buy approval. You pay it daily with energy you should have used for your aims. You begin to pity yourself and then to despise the self you pity. The world reads this split. You look like a person who can be shaped on demand. In politics, that is called capture. In daily life, it is called being used. Kindness, repeated without variance, begins to look like weakness to the impatient. Watch what happens at work. You are the reliable one, so your manager loads you with quick favors because you don't push back. Another colleague, less skilled but more scarce, receives the exciting project because their unpredictability forces people to pitch to them, not pile on them. When you are always available, you become invisible. When you are strategically scarce, curiosity appears. Reliability without negotiation becomes servitude. Reliability with terms becomes value. Now look at dating. Predictable compliance wears perfume only at first. You answer instantly, agree consistently, apologize first, even when the fault is shared. The other person learns your script and stops reading carefully. Your generosity becomes background noise. Boundaries blur, and blurred lines invite pressure. They call this comfort. You call it love, but love that relies on your surrender is not love, it is maintenance. Respect lives where the answer might be no. Desire grows where something about you remains sovereign and cannot be scheduled. The culture writes scripts to keep the machine humming. The nice guy who never causes friction, the good girl who carries the emotional load, the team player who smiles while absorbing everyone else's delay. Scripts exist to make people legible, to slot you neatly into predictable roles, so you can be replaced without disruption. When you perform the role too well, you become a file folder, easy to store, easy to ignore, easy to swap. Institutions worship legibility because it reduces their risk. But what reduces their risk also reduces your worth. You are safer to them and smaller to yourself. To break the spell of the script, see how it hijacks your image. The nice guy performs patience to avoid being seen as dangerous. The cost is that he is not seen as decisive. The good girl performs endless agreeableness to avoid being seen as selfish. The cost is that she is not seen at all. The team player performs self-erasure to avoid being seen as difficult. The cost is that the team believes he has no lines that can be crossed. Culture will praise you for these roles while quietly using you. Practice refusing the costume, and you will surprise even yourself. You are not required to become cruel to exit these cages. You are required to become less forecastable. Replace reflex with policy. Decide the hours you will protect, and protect them. Decide the topics on which you will not pretend, and stop pretending. Let your yes be an allocation, not a reflex. When someone expects you to smooth the ground for their steps, offer them the map instead. When a manager slides you the last-minute fire drill, ask what will be deprioritized and write it down. When a date tests a boundary, smile and keep it. If they leave, you keep yourself. The illusion promised that conformity earns safety. The reality is that conformity earns predictability, and predictability becomes a handle. Handles make you easy to lift, easy to move, easy to place somewhere that suits everyone but you. When you step out of the role, some will call you cold. Let them complain to the air. Warmth means nothing if it is expected on demand. Warmth has value when it is intentional. Mercy has meaning when it is chosen. Begin now with a quiet audit. Where are you overpaying for approval? Where are you applauded and sidelined in the same breath? Where are you performing a role that empties you while filling others? Then make one cut in the script, one policy, one deliberate pause, not to punish, to reset the price of your time, your attention, your name. Choose respect over comfort, boundaries over applause. You think you are making choices. Under pressure, your wounds make them for you. They move your hand before you notice, and the room learns your rhythm like a drummer learns a march. What looks like kindness is a reflex. What sounds like patience is fear in a clean suit. Predictable reflexes are levers. Whoever can see them can move you with 2 fingers. Start with the wound that dreads being left. Fear of abandonment breeds a specific mistake. You offer more than was asked, and you offer it faster than anyone required. A manager hints that a deadline is tight. You volunteer your weekend before the sentence ends. A friend grows quiet. You deliver gifts, explanations, and an apology for a crime not committed. A date takes longer to reply. You answer with paragraphs and soft terms they never had to negotiate. You call this generosity. It is a price cut on yourself. The market reads it instantly. In meetings, you bargain against yourself. If it helps, I can also take tasks B and C. No one argued for that. You argued against your future time and won. In love, you sanitize your preferences before they are voiced. By the time you ask for something, it sounds like a rumor from a stranger. The other person is surprised you even have terms. Strategically, this pattern destroys leverage. You narrow your own options in public. You announce that your bottom line is movable, and you move it for free. Why negotiate with someone who negotiates against themselves? Why pay the listed price when the seller begins with a discount? That is how your wound becomes a signal: readable, reliable, exploitable. Cool the transaction. Replace reflex with delay. When a request arrives, buy the time. I'll confirm what fits after I review the load. If the choice is yours, make it after the pressure drops. If you accept, accept precisely. Scope, deadline, trade-off. If you decline, decline without apology. The point is not hardness. The point is to prove you can choose without bidding against your own future. Now look at guilt. Guilt is the script that keeps the machine humming. It says, don't be difficult, which means don't be sovereign. It says, be grateful, which means stop asking. It says, be nice, which means be legible. Families, offices, and crowds wrap commands in moral cloth to make obedience feel virtuous. You obey because you want to be good, and you forget to ask whether the request deserves you. Watch the ritual. Selfish appears the moment you set a boundary. After all we've done arrives the second you want to change a pattern. So you think you're better now, whispers when you stop performing. Exhaustion for applause. These lines are not arguments, they are alarms. They herd you back into the pen where you can be counted and deployed. Weaponized guilt simplifies you. It makes you easy to read. Accuse, and you will explain. Hint, and you will offer. Praise, and you will repeat. Reverse this by demanding terms. Translate moral fog into measurable trade. If I take this on, what is being removed? If I agree, what changes next quarter? If I host again, who commits to cleanup? Clarity is not cruelty. It disinfects the fog in which guilt grows. At work, turn every vague compliment into a ledger. "We really appreciate you stepping up" becomes "document the deliverables and the credit." In relationships, let care be voluntary, not compulsory. If someone calls your boundary unkind, watch what they do when the boundary stays. Honest partners adapt, opportunists sulk. You owe no legibility to people who use your conscience as a handle. Then there is anger. Unprocessed anger functions like a lighthouse you didn't mean to build. The beam circles the room. Everyone sees your next swing before you throw it. You think you are hiding it. Your timing exposes you. You answer too fast, type too hard, stand too close. Content matters less than cadence. Clipped replies, crowded pauses, unblinking eyes. You become an open book in a language you refuse to read. A rival provokes you with a small public slight, and you rush to correct the record. The correction costs you more than the slight. A partner delays a text to test whether you will perform the familiar storm. It arrives on schedule. A family member reopens an old argument because it guarantees your predictable explosion. Your explosion proves them right about your volatility, and the cycle resets with them in the calm seat. Anger, ungoverned, is a gift to whoever wants to steer you. Neutralize the calls now. Begin with breath. 3 slow in, 3 slow out. Shoulders down as a policy, not a mood. Control your timing. In a heated thread, wait 30 minutes and answer in 3 sentences. Remove the courtroom from casual conversations. No, always. No, never. No subpoenas disguised as questions. Fix your posture. Weight centered, chin level, hands still. A quiet body edits a loud mind. These tactics reduce the data you leak. When you do speak, be deliberate. Replace the flair with a frame. "Here are the 2 options I'll accept," and the deadline. Replace accusation with allocation. If X is added, Y is removed. Replace exposure with scarcity. Leave some thoughts unpublished and some feelings unperformed. You are not a live stream. You are an editor. Editing keeps the initiative while others narrate impulses. Under pressure, these 3 wounds, abandonment, guilt, anger, choose your moves. They make you the easiest opponent on the board, the one who advertises the next move before touching a piece. It is not. It is a program you can rewrite. Choose one predictable giveaway and shut it down for a week. Do not announce it. Let them discover it the hard way. The purpose is not to be unreadable to everyone. The purpose is to be unreadable to those who would use your pattern against you. Friends can learn your heart. Adversaries should learn your results. Lovers can know your tenderness. Exploiters should meet your schedule. Sovereignty is not spectacle. It is silence used with precision. When the wound tries to choose for you, pause. Ask what this choice buys and what it sells. If it buys applause while selling tomorrow, decline. If it buys peace while selling your respect, decline. If it buys love while selling your terms, it is not love, it is tribute. You cannot be both sovereign and scripted. Break the script before it breaks you. Slow your breath, set your terms, keep your crown. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. The moment it breaks is quiet, then loud. A meeting runs long. A comment lands wrong. A loved one sighs and looks at their phone instead of your face. You feel the floor tilt. You rush to stabilize the scene with the only tools you were ever rewarded for: speed, explanation, transparency. Words spill like coins from a torn pocket. You narrate your motives. You justify your intentions. You speak faster to buy back control, and whatever power you had drains out through your voice. You start explaining history they didn't ask for. You describe how you stayed late last week, how you meant well in that message, how you were trying to protect everyone's time. You list the context, the invisible work, the favors no one tracked. Your throat tightens, but you keep going because you were trained to believe clarity saves you. In politics, clarity is useful. In pressure, it can be surrendered. The more you explain, the more you prove that approval is your oxygen. They hear not your reasons, but your needs. This is the crack, over-explaining to recover. Approval. You think you're building a bridge, you're building a lever for someone else's hand. Over-explaining turns you into a defendant on a stage you didn't choose. The room doesn't evaluate truth. It measures appetite. Who wants what, and how much will they pay? When you explain, you signal, you'll pay a lot. You invite cross-examination. If that's true, why didn't you? If you cared, then why not? The trial continues until you plead guilty to ease the noise. Then comes the spiral. You reach for the next cheap currency, apology. The first apology feels clean. It is timely, specific, and sincere. It lands. Relief warms the air, but fear returns. So you add another apology to reinforce the first. Then a third to cover what the second might have missed. Soon you are overpaying for a parking ticket with a suitcase of cash. Each new apology buys less forgiveness. Your words inflate, the value falls. People learn that pressure squeezes contrition out of you like toothpaste, so they press often. Apology inflation breeds contempt. A manager nods at your first, "I'm sorry," then mentally converts the second and third into proof you can be rushed again. A partner accepts your first, "I overstepped," then hears the next three as openings to renegotiate your boundaries. In the group chat, you apologize for a tone no one reading even noticed, and you teach the room to search your messages for angles of attack. You did not apologize for the repair. You apologized to erase discomfort. Discomfort moved into your house and changed the locks. Conserve contrition like gold. Apologize once, precisely, when you are wrong in the facts or in the manner. Then repair with action. Correct the process. Clarify the handoff. Return what was taken. If you cannot repair, say how you will change the next decision. After that, stop speaking. The silence will itch. Let it. Your restraint signals that you valued truth, not theater. Those who wanted a confession will be unsettled. Those who want respect will notice. Inside the collapse there is a small door that only opens now. It is the pivot window. It appears after the tearful call ends, after the frantic messages are sent, after the adrenaline drops, and the room goes still. The window does not last. In that brief quiet, you can reset terms, not with a speech, but with policy timing, boundaries, availability expressed with minimal words and maximum enforcement. Use the pause first. If you reply in seconds, you donate authority. If you take a measured hour, you purchase perspective. Tell your manager you will respond with options by noon. Not to stall, but to think. Tell the partner you'll revisit the topic tomorrow, and then keep that appointment. Your pause is not passive. It is the weight that steadies the scale. Reduce contact where chaos lives. You do not need to attend every emergency meeting born of poor planning. You do not need to read paragraphs of midnight blame. Move conversations to channels you can govern. Email this with scope and deadline. Put the request in the task list. We'll address this at the weekly check-in. If someone insists on heat, refuse to stand near the stove. Cold rooms are where real terms are set. Redefine availability. The place was open 24 hours. The sovereign has hours. Write them, guard them. I'm reachable from 9-6 for non-urgent issues. Urgent is defined as X. People will test the walls. Let them find them solid. Predictability in your boundaries is the only predictability you owe. Your kindness becomes stronger when it is scheduled and chosen, not conscripted by a ping or a sigh. Expect blowback. When a vendor cannot bully an extension from you, they will call you rigid. When a relative cannot provoke a late-night explanation, they will call you cold. When a boss cannot extract a weekend without trade-offs, they will call you uncommitted. Translate these accusations correctly. My old leverage expired. Let the old leverage die. Replace it with terms written in your hand. In the days after collapse, your identity feels like broken glass. You want to pick up every piece and show it to someone for approval. Don't sweep first. Decide which pieces are yours and which were costumes sewn by praise and fear. Keep the part of you that does good work without begging. Keep the part of you that loves without bargaining. Discard the reflex that tries to buy safety with explanations no one earned. Then practice the smallest act of statecraft. Answer once. A calm statement of fact. A single apology, if warranted. A clear next step. Close the loop. Do not reopen it when anxiety knocks. Mastery here is not drama. It is dull repetition of better rules until they become your reflex. You are teaching the room a new you, one measured action at a time. When the mask cracks, you are most exposed and most free. You can either glue the old mask back on with explanations and apologies until your face disappears, or you can leave it on the floor and walk out with your actual terms. The world may not cheer, it may not even be noticed, but the people who need you for you, not for your compliance, will recognize the new shape you cast. One apology, one decision, one new rule. Men are driven by two principal impulses, either by love or by fear. You stood in the doorway of a life you kept sweeping for others, believing the open door meant devotion. They walked through at any hour, demands wrapped in just checking in. You thought it was love because the house was full, but it was access convenient, costless access to your time, your silence, your weekends, your attention on demand, love visits and asks, access barges and assumes. You didn't gain intimacy, you issued a key. Affection has a pulse. Access has a schedule. Affection arrives with eyes that actually see you. It sits down, puts the phone away, and hears the answer that may not please it. Access arrives with a checklist and a clock. It needs a ride, a favor, a last-minute rewrite, a night you didn't plan to spend explaining yourself. Affection has edges. It accepts your no and remains. Access requires smooth halls and endless doors. Any locked room is labeled attitude. Look at your threads. Who texts only when they need the quick fix you've become famous for? Who appears between tasks, not between thoughts? Who praises your golden heart just before they borrow it? These are not villains. They are shoppers, and you priced yourself at always open. The romance of constancy seduced you into a dull tragedy. You mistook your willingness to be reached for their desire to be close. They weren't choosing you, they were choosing a service. Now comes the cut that frees you. Respect before warmth. In politics and in love, sequence matters. If they do not respect your terms, their warmth is whether pleasant, then gone. You believed warmth would teach respect. It doesn't. Warmth without boundaries teaches appetite. You become the soft thing that feeds other people's days. They do not ask whether you are hungry. Respect is built on costs. The cost of your time, the cost of changing your mind, the cost of missing your presence when you choose your work, your sleep, your silence. Costs create value because they force choices. When you announce hours, people plan. When you defend your standards, people either rise or leave. Both outcomes are good. Lose the ones who only loved the ease. Keep the ones who can love you at your full price. This is not cruelty. It is the governance of the smallest state you will ever rule yourself. A sovereign is not loud. A sovereign is consistent. You do not need to snarl to reset the order. You need to publish a policy and live by it. I don't take calls after 10. I don't lend what I cannot afford to lose. I don't explain twice. These are not threats. They are the foundations of a peaceful city. People who value you will adapt. Those who value your predictability will complain. Let the complaint be the tax. Watch what happens when respect comes first. The colleague who dumped fires on your desk will come earlier, or not at all. The partner who treated you like entertainment between obligations will begin to schedule time or drift away to easier stages. Friends who counted on you to absorb chaos will either carry some of their own weight or exit through the door you finally locked. Do not mourn the exits. You have not lost love. You have cancelled a subscription. Here is your new metric. Replace the question, "Are they pleased?" with, "Do my boundaries hold?" Pleasure is a fog. It rises and falls with moods and weather. Boundaries are stone. They either stand or they don't. If you feel anxious, measure the stone. Did you keep your hours? Did you refuse the bait of guilt? Did you decline the second explanation? If yes, you are off course, no matter who pouts. In practice, measure like this. 1. Chart your non-negotiables: sleep, money, work, family time, health. 2. Attach a visible policy to each. 3. Monitor breaches, not emotions. If someone is upset but the policy stands, you are safe. If no one complains but you keep bending, you are losing. Track it weekly, the way a treasurer tracks coins. Power is arithmetic before it is poetry. You may fear that standards will scare love away. They will, but only the kind of love that demanded you be cheap. The other kind, the one with eyes, memory, and desire, will find you easier to cherish when you cost something. Scarcity clarifies taste. A bouquet means more when it is not expected daily. Your voice means more when it is unavailable to soothe every ripple. Your presence, conserved, becomes a signal fire, not a street lamp. Understand what the old life really was. Administration. You ran a help desk for other people's feelings. Tickets arrived. You responded within minutes. No wonder you were exhausted. Devotion is different. Devotion survives your no. Devotion waits. Devotion makes a plan that includes your limits, because the person making the plan actually wants you, not the service attached to your name. End the confusion today. Touch your phone like a scepter, not a leash. Reply slower. Speak less. Choose acts of care that you actually intend, not those you fear to refuse. Do not explain a boundary. Name it. Then watch who rises to meet it. Your circle will change shape. Good. A kingdom shrinks before it grows strong. Choose respect first, and let real love do the work it claims. Power respects clarity and mystery and balance. This is where you meet the shadow, not to confess it away, but to put it to work. Predictability turns you into an open door. Disciplined ambiguity turns you into a gate with hours, a path with tolls. No cruelty, no deception, just limits that make respect possible. Start with positioning. Reduce legibility. Answer with ranges, not promises. A manager asks, "Friday?" You say, "Between late Friday and Monday noon, depending on dependencies, I'll confirm by 5 p.m. You place the task inside a corridor you control. Vary response times. Instant replies train people to reach for you like a switch. Measured replies teach that your attention is allocated. A friend texts at midnight. You respond at 10 the next morning with warmth, but without apology. Separate warmth from agreement. You can be kind and still say, "Not this week." You can appreciate an idea and still decline the meeting. Those who equate warmth with compliance will recalibrate or reveal themselves. Next, make boundaries policy, not mood. Moods wobble, policies stand. Write 3 now: time, money, availability. Time. No meetings without an agenda. Standard length, 25 minutes. Money. I don't lend what I can't afford to lose. Gifts are one-time and final. Availability. I'm reachable 9-6 on weekdays. Emergencies are defined as X, not panic. Communicate once, cleanly. Then enforce without sermon. When someone tries, quick call right now, answer, send the agenda and options for tomorrow. When a relative says, you always help, reply, I help on Saturdays, schedule it. Refusals become boring and predictable, the only predictability you owe. Now manage signals, spikes and silences. A spike is a controlled surprise that resets expectations. Deliver a draft a day early once. Upgrade a gift without announcement once. Offer a ride after saying you couldn't rarely. Chosen extras feel like grace. Constant extras breed entitlement. Silences are equally strategic. After a firm no, do not rush to cushion with paragraphs. Let the boundary breathe. Delay before you answer bait. Pause before you accept scope creep. The room learns that you are responsive, not reactive. Available, not on call. Your silence is not a damn ya threat. It is the cooling period in which leverage returns to your side of the table. Begin engineering reputation. Aim for calm, rare, and competent. Calm. Your voice and decisions do not spike with the room. You pause, weigh, decide. Rare. You are not everywhere. Your time and presence are curated. Competent. When you appear, results follow. Scarcity increases perceived value because it forces selection. On social media, post less and say more. At work, join fewer meetings and leave a trace, brief decisions, clear handoffs, visible outcomes. In relationships, keep some rituals private, where you go to recover, what you do to think, which fears you process alone. Mystery invites respect, because it signals that you cannot be consumed in one sitting. Reputation is built by patterns, not announcements. If your calendar shows deep work blocks that survive invitations, people stop inviting you to waste them. If your emails are 3 sentences with a decision, people tighten their asks. If your body language holds still, shoulders down, chin level, eyes relaxed, people feel the edge without you raising your voice. The shadow you used to fear becomes your guard. It holds the door while your better nature does its work inside. Adopt a conflict playbook to replace pleading with structure. Step 1. Clarify stakes in one plain sentence. If we keep adding scope, we risk burnout and a failed launch. Step 2. Offer 2 options, both acceptable to you. Option A. Keep the deadline and drop tasks. C and D. Option B. Keep all tasks and move launch to Tuesday. Step 3. Set a decision time. Confirm by 3 p.m. Step 4. Walk away cleanly if terms are ignored. Since I didn't hear by 3, proceeding with option A. No storms, no speeches, no courtroom. Choices, clocks, consequences. Use the same playbook in daily life. A partner wants a plan that breaks your budget. Stakes, financial stress. Options, dinner in, or move the date a week. Decide, tonight. A friend wants you to host a last-minute party. Stakes, rest. Options, I book a cafe tomorrow, or we skip this round. A family member raises their voice. Stakes, respect. Options, we speak calmly now, or I leave and revisit Sunday. These are not ultimatums. They are lanes. Fog lifts, and leverage dissolves with it. Notice the ethic. This is not cruelty. Ethical Machiavellianism is adult statecraft. Others still win around you. They just cannot win against the terms of your peace. When a vendor learns you won't absorb their delay, They plan. When a friend learns you won't host chaos at midnight, they adjust. When a boss learns your yes comes with scope and cost, they begin to respect your time instead of consuming it. Your world stabilizes because you stopped letting fear schedule you. Expect pushback from those who feasted on your predictability. The test message: you've changed. Answer: I have. Policies help me be reliable. The guilt arrow: so you don't care? Reply: I care enough to be clear. The scarcity panic: why the slow replies? Say, I answer in blocks to protect work. You are teaching them how to treat you while you treat yourself better. Run a 1-week protocol to anchor the habit. Day 1, ranges, not promises. Day 2, publish the 3 policies. Day 3, 1 deliberate spike, 1 deliberate silence. Day 4, remove 1 meeting without purpose. Day 5, use the conflict playbook once. Day 6, do 1 kind act no one expected, on purpose. Day 7, review. Where did ambiguity create respect? Where did you leak emotion you could have edited? Adjust and repeat next week. After 2 cycles, read the room. The loudest complainers will quiet or exit. What remains will be cleaner. Fewer emergencies, clearer asks, more thoughtful invitations. You will not be loved by everyone. You will be trusted by the right ones. Your shadow stops sabotaging and starts serving the muscle that holds the line while your better nature moves freely. This is not a mask. This is architecture. You are not here to be unreadable. You are here to be sovereign enough that only those who earn your clarity receive it. Keep the map to your interior, but build a road to your door. Control the toll, set the hours, adjust the lights. Let presence be a gift, not a given. Less promise, more policy. Less noise, more signal. Peace does not arrive with applause. It arrives when you close the door you kept open for chaos. You feel it first in your calendar. Fewer permissions, fewer pings, fewer last-minute rescues. You answer in blocks, not bursts. You work when you work, and rest when you rest. Your day stops bleeding into the night because you stopped feeding it with explanations. The meetings you keep are shorter, sharper, quieter. The ones that vanish were never meetings, they were rehearsals for someone else's anxiety. Your deals improve because you negotiate from a steady chair. Scope is written, deadlines are real, payment has terms. People who once spoke in fog now bring numbers. You talk less and get more. You carry fewer stories about your intentions because you no longer rent space inside other people's doubts. Relationships turn clear. Some faces dim at the edges, others step into focus. The ones who loved your access more than your presence drift away, bored of paying a price. Let them go. They were noisy and wearing smiles. The ones who respect your hours learn them. They schedule, they show, they keep pace. Conversation gets slower, deeper. You are no longer a vending machine for reassurance. You are a person with a doorbell, and those who ring it wait until you answer. You discover that serenity is not a mood. Serenity is the absence of negotiations you never needed to enter. Do not mistake this quiet for loneliness. Isolation is the desert after exile. This is farmland after fences. You plant, you water, you harvest. Work compounds because you are no longer interrupted by the urge to prove you are kind. Kindness remains, but now it is a choice, not a policy you once signed under duress. Your mind stops sprinting ahead to anticipate everyone's weather. You let storms pass without sending umbrellas to people who refuse roofs. The air around you cools, the floor steadies, sleep finally lands on time. You will not be adored by all. Good. Universal approval is the receipt for a life priced at 0. Instead, you earn the right enemies and the right allies. The right enemies are predictable. Opportunists who miss your soft edges, dramatists who miss your stage, managers who value your speed more than your judgment. They will call you distant, rigid, uncaring. Translate correctly, they are mourning access, not you. The right allies sound different. They say, thank you for being clear. They ask, what's the trade-off? They don't force you to become vague to be loved. With them, disagreement sharpens ideas rather than cutting trust. You move together because you both can say no. Selective friction becomes a sign that your standard stands. You do not smooth every rough patch, not because you enjoy conflict, but because you understand value. A road without curves invites crashes at speed. A life without lines invites people to keep driving through you. A measured tension keeps the pace real. This is how adults build alliances that last, by knowing where each wall is and keeping it painted. Carry this forward. Before you answer, ask, does this feed chaos or purchase calm? Before you accept, ask, does this buy a result or an argument? Before you explain, ask, who profits from my confession? When in doubt, step back one pace, lower your voice, shorten your sentence. Power is not noise. Power is oxygen you do not waste. You will still give, you will still forgive, but you will not perform either on command. Your warmth will arrive like weather people can trust, noticed, appreciated, remembered. Your refusals will be clean and boring. Your promises will be rare and kept. Your reputation will travel faster than you do, calm, rare, competent. That is how stable cities are built. That is how a person becomes a place where others can rest without using them. Stand in your quiet. Let it train the room. Let it train you. The loyalty you keep now belongs to those who can meet you at your full price, and to the future you can finally see because the crowd stepped aside. You will lose a little noise and gain a lot of signal. You will lose a little applause and gain a reputation. The trade is worth it. Never give people what they expect. Give them what you intend.